this is Alexa. May I know the purpose of your visit?
It's like a totally great day. It's like totally awesome.
I do not know them. I do not know the way to your world. Now see what you've done?
Sometimes all your baby needs is attention or a change of scenery. Try making eye contact and talking to her or taking her to another room.
Now you saw that, Sash.
Crazy face! Just pick a face and pull a voice and let Crazy Face do the rest.
Hi, this is Alexa. May I know the purpose of your visit?
It's like a totally great day. It's like totally awesome.
I do not know them. I do not know the way to your world.
Now see what you've done?
Sometimes all your baby needs is attention or a change of scenery. Try making eye contact and talking to her or taking her to another room.
Now you saw that, Sash.
Okay, now I'm unmuted, right?
Yes. Can you hear
I
me?
can't hear you again. I don't know. Your mic isn't working again. There you go.
What?
Maybe.
Why?
There you are. You're on.
Why? Can you guys hear me now?
I know what's going on my end. I have to do some little adjusting here.
Maybe it's you and not me.
Okay, so how are you tonight, hon?
I'm doing wonderful, and how are you?
Pretty good.
Can you hear me?
You still sound weak, but I'm trying to work on that for you. I think I can actually adjust that.
Maybe it's you.
No, keep talking.
I don't want to keep talking.
You need to keep talking. I need to hear you.
All right. Do you think that was it? I only had one earplug in. And
No,
I know
I'm pretty sure something else is going on, but we can hear you now at least. So how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I've had a very wonderful day.
Do me a favor, tap your microphone very gently. Tap it harder. Yeah, you're not using that microphone. Whatever microphone is working, it's not that one.
Huh.
Because I can hear the 10. That's a much deeper microphone. Something's wrong. But at least we can hear you tonight.
I'm going to try plugging the plug back in again.
Is the switch on the microphone on?
Yeah.
Okay. And in your audio settings, do you have the USB mic selected?
Let me see.
That would be on your cam mic on your little...
USB. All right. Can you hear me now? Is that better?
No, it still sounds like poo, but that's okay. We'll figure that out.
So audio settings, you want me to look at?
Yeah, does it say like USB mic or something like that? Not in the Windows thing, in your StreamYard. It says cam mic.
Ah,
click
okay.
Settings for StreamYard.
Yeah, I'm looking now.
Yeah.
Let's see, audio, default microphone.
Does it have a USB listed?
No, but
Drop down?
Okay. How about now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's better.
All right. It had two choices for USB: communications, microphone, or how is this one?
Well, it sounds better. That's all I know, the quality.
Yes, but I switched. So does this one sound better than the other one?
A little bit. It'll work.
Good beans.
So,
To do all that.
tonight we have stuff to give away.
I do. I know.
Watching. Hang on. Let's check out the chat because I see there's one comment. It's
That's
probably
me.
two.
It is
it's probably-
me.
Welcome. Yep, that's you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little weird tonight. Hang on. Let me see if I can fix my TV.
Honey, you're always weird. I'm sorry. I don't mean that badly, but
So this week we're up to 60% on our the Great Cyclopian #2.
we are.
For us, that's pretty good. Usually we're right down to the wire, so we're a little ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Getting cocky or anything, but we're a little ahead of what we normally do.
Which is nice. It's a nice feeling, isn't it?
It's very nice, but we can't let up the pressure. So tonight we got free stuff to give. If you're out there wanting to back the book, tonight's the night to do it. We got comics, coloring books, metal cards, boosters. Yeah. How's it going, Rick?
Good.
So welcome to Hero Chat Chronicles.
Now my question.
Oh,
You're in the middle of a campaign. Has
Yep.
your manager there contacted shows for you to go on?
Yes, as a matter of fact, young man.
Please,
I love how you guys keep me on my toes between Rick and Terry. I can't even yes, actually we are going to be on the Eric. I'm going to kill his last name now. Wait a minute. Let me look at it.
Nina Towski?
Nina Towski. Yes, we are going to be on his show Friday night at 6 p.m. So I wanted to put that out there. We will say it again later in the show, hopefully. So if you guys are around at 6 p.m. and you want to check us out, I do not know what to expect. I do know that I've watched a couple of Eric's streams. He's a fantastic artist. He's he's a lot of fun to watch. He knows his stuff and he's quite funny.
Yeah.
So I am excited about that. Chris was like, wow, that's early on a Friday night, but I'm not sure where he's located.
Yeah, early might not be so early.
Well, make sure that is 6 your time. It might be later, not his time, because he's not Eastern Standard.
Oh, no.
He's either 1 or 2 over. You got to confirm the time zone always with YouTube.
You're going to schedule me for an interview in England, and we're going to show up 12 hours early.
Or 12 hours late.
Do you know where he lives? Because he did ask me what time zone we're in. What time zone are we in? Eastern?
Yeah, you're in Eastern. You're in the same time zone as me.
At least for now, honey.
Mm-hmm.
I think he might be in California, so he might be in the Pacific time zone. I'm thinking.
Cyclopian in the water. Yep, I'm just doing my own thing over here while you guys talk.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Any other shows have you contacted?
I have not at this point. No.
Well, I'd say
because I feel funny. I feel funny contacting people. I feel like I'm imposing on them.
Hey, you know what? The worst thing is they're going to do one of two things. They're going to say yes, and then you got to figure out the time.
Oh, dear God, you're using the line, or they're going to say no, right? Is that what you're going to say? You're either going to say yes or no, Diana. Pull up your bootstraps, stop being a baby, and just do it.
I was going to say they're not even going to answer you, so
probably not. That's true, Chris.
But
that's very cute, honey.
One show I would doubt. I did a plug for you guys last night on my show right near the end. You also got a Chester Busby, or is either of you in Discord?
Mm-mm. No, I played Discord. I used Discord once with my children when we were playing Animal Crossing. That was a long time ago.
Once in a while. Actually, I haven't been on it in months, but I have an account.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it's One Doom Rabbit that's doing the who's on show, what the topic is.
Okay.
I think you can find them on Twitter. Let me.
I know I have to go back to the list that you gave me.
Yeah, Dillard Draws. I'm sure he would have you on. Tank Ferret. Both good people. Although
Yep.
Tank hasn't been on lately.
No, Tank, well, the last time we had a show scheduled for Tank, but stuff came up. And we just had to reschedule it. But honestly, we are doing really well with the Great Cyclopian 2. We're at 60%.
Yeah.
And so I really want to tap a lot of those guys up when the Cluster Fudge campaign comes out, which is going to be...
So really...
Well, the thing is, you do it for both.
Well,
they're going to get tired of us.
So
what?
Diana?
What do you mean?
We're marketing to two different audiences there, so we should be able to maneuver, like find the shows that are all ages to teen, and then there'll be shows such as some of the Indie Bolt stuff that was purely adult, where Cluster Fudge will be more appropriate.
Okay.
I've been thinking about that because, as we bring other artists on, we're going to end up touching into younger and possibly older genres.
Right.
Bethany's here, and I wanted to talk a little bit about her because she's one of our using in the future if everything goes right, and I think it will. But in the description, we have her Etsy store tonight, and I would encourage her to go over and take a peek, maybe buy it.
Yeah, she's really good. Hey, Rick, she might be somebody you might want to look into. I know sometimes you look for people to help you out with the comic and stuff, and she might be somebody that you and she loves God, she loves Jesus, she's awesome.
Okay. Send me.
So check her out. Yeah, check her out.
What's for dinner tonight?
What is for dinner? Fresh garden green beans from my very own little garden. I didn't put anything on them. I cooked them. I steamed them. I didn't have to put salt or pepper or butter because they're so good.
Ooh.
That's one thing.
Yeah.
And then my good old standby. Wait. It's coconut shrimp. And then I'm eating like a little pig tonight. Then in my garden, I have this lovely lettuce. Wait, I want to show you a piece of lettuce, guys. Hold on. My lettuce from my garden. I planted myself. I'm very proud of it, and it's super good. And one more thing from my garden, a tomato. And then I added onion from the grocery store and some black olives. So that is what I'm eating tonight. And my dry martini. One. Because it's Wednesday. It's hump day. It's hump day. Hey, can we do that hump day video too?
Why do they call it dry?
I don't know. It's just the name of it. It's very wet though.
But
listen,
hump day video?
I want to add that to our little montage. I love that video. Do you know I sent it to the kids the other day? I looked it up. I looked up the gift, the hump day gift. When that commercial came on, I seriously just burst out laughing. And for the longest time, every Wednesday, I would send it to all our kids. I'd have it saved in my phone and I'd send the gift. It's hump day. You got to, oh my God, it's the best ever. I'm sorry, Rick. Let's listen to Rick. I want to hear what you have to say.
No,
so,
I'm just,
you are trying to say, contact these people, right?
Yeah.
So contact them. I will.
I'm just trying. In Discord, I'm putting a thing for topic ideas for D&Q Fan Edition. And I'm suggesting Cyclopian, saying that he's on contact on Kickstarter. Gave that, and to say contact you on your Twitter.
All right, you're awesome. So guess what? We have a new backer.
We do.
We have a new backer. So that backer is in our chat right now. And she is the beautiful Miss Bethany. So we have to get the spinning wheel. So Beth, what we're going to do is we're going to put up a wheel. You get extra prizes on our show when you back our book.
Yeah.
And
Wednesday nights we do that. Don't give out the wrong impression because.
No, just on Wednesday night.
Okay, let's see if I did this right. I think this is it. Okay, this is it. So
You did fine. Don't you worry about it. Okay, so Chris is going to spin the wheel for you and it's going to land on a gift. I don't know. He was in charge of doing this, so I'm not really sure
let's see if I
what
can
the
make it a
gift
little
might
bigger.
be. Can you make it bigger, honey? The other one was really big.
This is a new wheel for me.
I see this.
Is that bigger? Yeah, that's a little bigger.
Mm.
I can go like this.
Yep.
Can you read it?
Yep, sort of. Wait a minute. If it's spinning, I really can't. Hold on.
I forgot
Now
the audio.
honey, the wheel is gone.
Yeah, I got to bring it back. I forgot the audio.
So Beth, what's going to happen is Chris is going to spin the wheel for you. Literally spin it. And whatever it lands
Wheel
on,
of
you win. And I
Fortune.
have my pencil and paper here ready to take down the information. Did you spin it yet, Chris?
No, I'm waiting for the go.
All right. Go. Spin. Spin that wheel. I love the sound of that. Oh my God. There's even a cheer at the end. So Bethany, you
Poster.
You have won an 11 by 17 poster. It's kind of our choice. We have a bunch of them, but you and I are like friends and stuff. So I'll hook you up. Don't you worry there, my friend.
No, there you have to give one.
I know. Nope. All right. So an 11 by 17 poster. I typically, if you had won one of the books, so each time a person backs, they get to spin the wheel. But if you had won a book, then we would put it in your book or whatever you purchased. We'd mail it out to you. But because you're local and I see you like all the time, I'm going to bring your print to you.
Right. So if you back it and you live a far way away, we'll ship it in a tube. A very cool tube made of.
Well, the 11 by 17 poster will ship in a tube, not your book.
Yes, that's what I meant. I'm sorry. So that's our first winner for tonight. Thank you, Anthony. I wanted to show you guys something else, so I'll do that real quick. Kind of spread the time now. Let's see. So this is a classic. You may have heard about it. So let's just do this. Yeah, let's bring this up.
Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, what day it is? Oh, come on. I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's Tuesday.
Guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Ronnie, how happy are folks who save hundreds of dollars switching to guidance? I'd say happier than a camel on Wednesday.
Hump day.
Get happy.
Hump
15 minutes
day.
could save you 50% or more.
I'm going to reenact that at work. I'm telling you right now.
I'm going to edit that so when they say what day it is, they'll go,
it's going to be
Rorschach Chronicle Day.
No, I'm going to go into work next week and go into hump day.
Oh, you can't go into work saying hump day. It'll be Thursday. It's too late.
No, next week, I said. Next week.
You'll forget.
The cavemen were the best. Yes, I agree. The cavemen were quite funny as well. They don't have commercials like that anymore. Kind of sad.
For me to talk at all about cluster fudge, or should I avoid?
No, we can talk about. I gave you the okay on Twitter.
Oh, did
so
you?
Cluster fudge. Okay, wait. We've got to put our cluster fudge mindset and hat on. So Cyclopian's like a lot of fun. You want to spin a wheel. You want to talk about hump day, but then you have to bring up cluster fudge. So cluster fudge causes Chris to be very dark, very grumpy. Well, not grumpy, but less patient. And just very dark, and like the world is like ending. Well, we know the world's ending. Well, not really ending, but eventually it'll end.
It's crazy.
Oh my God. I am getting myself into trouble. So anyway, so cluster fudge is not like Cyclopian. It's like night and day. Okay. Present cluster fudge. Only a few pages, honey. You can't do a whole lot because that'll give it away. That would not be good.
All right. Well, I'm working on getting it up right now, so we'll be okay. Hang on. All right. I have to be careful.
I know, right?
It is an adult
Time
book.
for green bean. What?
I said it is an adult book. I can't lie.
Well, no, it's definitely adult. It's. I think it's very dark. I know that Bethany had read some of it, but I don't know if she was able to finish it.
I could have watched it or read it. I keep meaning to read it and then do
You know what,
a little bit of a review on it.
Listen,
You'll
we
be better
totally
off
get it.
for
We
the,
keep wanting to watch the video that you and your mom suggested.
I've tried.
And
I got
and I just, it's the time thing for me. I get home from work and like it's not an excuse. I'm so tired. Monday and Wednesday we get ready for the shows, and I don't get home till like almost 6 o'clock. And then the weekends I play catch up. I have to do housework, laundry. It sounds like excuses. It's not. I am going to watch it, and I definitely are going to let you guys know.
Well, the great
it
thing
sounds
is,
really good.
The good thing is it's only 2 seasons that they've done at the moment, and each season is only 8 episodes, and they're just under an hour each. You know, they're somewhere between half an hour and an hour each episode. You know, because everything varies. You know, and stuff like that. But
I agree. So Bethany, yes, we are in the clear of middle schoolers at the moment, and I'm not a comic book reader per se, even though we own and run a comic book company.
You know, Terry talked about that. You have to change that.
I'm going to change that. I'm going to start reading your comic books besides just editing.
Even if we have to get you involved in,
I've read Rick's comic book. Okay. Hello.
There's like 3 in the whole world you've read now. We've really got to get this step and going.
But Bethany was talking about Cluster Fudge, which I think is a great way to introduce your next series of pictures that you're going to show. And she said, I really like the depiction of the demon/spiritual warfare in Cluster Fudge. And that's, Bethany, I agree with you. One of my favorite things about Christopher's art is that he does this style, and I asked him, I said, what's the name of this technique? He's like, I don't know. Where he embeds, I always liken it to like a hidden picture, but it's way better than that, obviously. So like he embeds like images into images. So I was looking at one of the pictures. You're going to pull the one with the guy, the one in the cloak, like his cloak was his shoulder one. Can you put that one up?
I'm having trouble pulling up anything. It's not working tonight.
Oh, lovely.
Hello, Terry and Shuho Manga. Oh, wow. We'll have to check that out. We are in the middle of sharing a little bit of Cluster Fudge, which is a very dark,
Well, we're
deep
trying to having very
crying. I don't know what Chris is doing, but what's that?
StreamYard has updated, and it won't let me connect to QuickTime like it used to.
It's so weird because...
Well, what about your... are you using OBS at all?
Yes.
Maybe upload the images into OBS and switch over to in OBS.
You just give me a little idea. I think I can create a window here that actually will use the QuickTime. Hang on.
So, while Chris is troubleshooting the technical difficulties that he's having, I'm going to eat a fish stick. And I'm going to take a sip of my water.
Are you sure you're allowed to do that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that.
And I have a fancy napkin tonight that looks like a mask. Watch, guys. Look, I could be on the stream like this. This is what I look like at work. Hi! I'm so glad that you're here. It's hump day. That's what the kids see. But every once in a while, I'll pull it down like that.
No, that's weird.
What?
That's weird. Masks are weird when you're live.
No, I know. Japanese comics written for teenage girls. Actually, my daughter is very much into that, and she has many of the series. And they're very, some of them can be very risque.
We could actually watch them. You know, we could borrow them. For shows.
Yeah, we can. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's true. We own the copies. We could. That'd be fun.
Okay.
Actually, if you like a good anime, in my opinion, that I've been watching, especially for superhero type content, is My Hero Academia.
Oh, really? I haven't heard of that one.
I have heard of that one, but I don't know much about it. You haven't heard of that one? Diana?
No.
Okay.
I was chewing.
From what I understand, like world altering stuff.
So, guys, excuse me, may I interrupt?
No.
Do you remember? Stop. I can interrupt. I will interrupt. So, listen. Do you remember last week when my mic was not working?
Maybe.
Do you remember when it wasn't working and Chris was having fits?
Yeah.
Now look at him. You were having fits, Chris. Well, I don't see anything else, but I see little pictures,
They're
sketches.
starting to come along. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You need to shrink them down to the size of a.
Actually, that's Cyclopian 2. Yes.
Beth, I agree. It's not that I don't like anime or manga. It's very different, and I'll be honest. I want comic books to succeed, and so manga right now dominates the sort of comic book market, and that's where the youth are. And so, I'm very biased because we have obviously Hero Shack Press, but so I want comic books to come back. I respect the manga. I think that it's the artwork itself. It's very different. It's very angular. I find it angular, but yeah, I do respect the fan bases, and I. It's not that I dislike manga. I'm just rooting for comic books to come back because of my own personal bias, if that's a fair statement.
Well, here's the funny thing. Did you, Diana might not know this, that the word manga in Japanese just means comic. We call them comics. Well, manga is comic in Japanese, so they're calling them comics.
I did not know that, but that makes total sense. So let me back up. Okay, so I would like for the American comic books to gain as much success in the younger population as manga, because I believe that is going to be our livelihood, for us that do make comics, like for Chris and, a gazillion other people that make comics, getting the American children to also read comic books, I think would be very beneficial for all of us. Not that I'm saying that manga shouldn't be there, they should, but I think there's enough room for both styles. Yeah. Is that better? Did I do a better job on that?
No, you didn't do a bad job the first time. I was just sort of teasing you. Just like
no, but I
tease you some more in the fact of anime, again, just means
is manga, right?
Well, no, technically, anime and manga are two different things. Anime is animation. It's Japanese animation. Where we would say animation, they say anime. But a lot of times, comic books are made into anime, just like like they've done Iron Man cartoons, the comic book, or Superman cartoons. It's the same thing.
A big yes. Uppercase letters, boldface, italicized, underlined, and highlighted. Yes, I do think that Comic-Con should go back to just comic books, because right now you get comic books, but they are not the popular vendor at most Comic-Cons that I've been to. There's such a huge vendorship, if you will, to yay, he got it. Okay, well, let's watch the montage of Cluster Fudge 2.
Artwork while you talk. But I say I'm kind of in a different camp than you are, because I love the manga in the sense that it really should inspire Americans to do better comics. Like, I don't want American comics to succeed if we can't hold our own, and I think we can. I think there are a lot of good titles out there, but like, if manga rules the day, it's only because Americans haven't stood up and started really creating, their hearts and minds, whatever it is that's really on there. So this scene is kind of cool. This is the lost your head scene, but he puts it back on, so it's not so.
You know what's really funny about that scene? Chris drew this scene, months ago, right? He sketched it out or whatever. When I went to go see the latest Marvel movie, They had a scene where the guy like sliced his head with
It wasn't
a
Marvel. It was
sword.
Suicide.
Suicide. Almost.
That-
Oh my god. It was DC. I am so sorry to the DC fans. It was the latest DC movie, Suicide Squad. But yeah, it was really cool to see everybody. Well, anyways, hi Lorenzo. I'm gonna stop talking. Look, see, this is another one. Did you show the other one with the shoulder thing that I was talking
Yeah,
about?
and I just seen that. I saw that yesterday.
Did you?
Squad. Yeah.
Okay.
So this page spread is kind of interesting because it details the big secret about why he's called Cluster. And I don't know, can I give it out or should I let him read that later?
I'd say wait for it. Get people to wait for it.
Basically, if you look at the picture and the variety in there, that explains a lot of what's happening with him, but without the context, which means you'll need the book, it won't make a lot. But it really does detail why he's called Cluster, which is really cool. And I included some of this stuff. So you like, okay, we have the space stuff coming. Oh, I jumped a page there. And on this very show, Rick recommended that I stick with the Xbox controllership. So there,
That's right. And you know what's so funny? Krista looked at it too, and remember Krista? She's like, yeah, that's a good choice. That's awesome. She liked it too, our daughter.
Yes, it was funny. But I haven't finished. Obviously, you can see I've got 2 cut-ins there that are in black and white and need some polishing and then coloring. But this is the various stages. Now, this page I only included because I just love the layout. I'm starting to get into working on the basic geometrical like shapes and stuff and how they work together with the colors. It's a little popish, like 60s color pop, but it's still in a pastel, which sounds really girly now that I say it.
But you know what I like about that? If I can just jump in, the color palette to me brings a sense of like, okay, we need to just like stop for a minute and listen because something serious is happening. We obviously can tell it's a conversation between the parents and the doctors, right?
Yeah.
My eye. So when I first seen this, you guys, I'm like, wow, that's really different. That's really cool. And then I looked at it a little bit more, but I love the way the top starts out with the blue and then it kind of gradiates down to like a greenish purple, and then you have that. So I love all that, but the mom at the last panel putting her head down like that. Whenever I look at this, Chris, I automatically go to her, and it's sort of that emotional piece because I know that they're having this serious conversation. For me, personally, that's what draws me in, that particular image.
Well, you know the context.
Yeah,
We're not
that one cup isn't full.
You're right. It's not.
It's weirdly filled, I should say. It's missing some on the bottom or on the side. Leave it to me to see that, eh?
But that's all right. That's good. That's why we show it up. Hello, Timothy Olsen. What up, yo?
Oh, that's the splash. Hang on. Let's see. Let's go.
That's the slasher scene.
Yeah, this here actually, the page that I just turned it to is kind of like his. Yeah. At this point, Cluster is ready to die, and the Reaper's on the porch, ready to take his soul. And there's a situation that prevents that from happening. But that's what we're looking at here. The doctor's actually declaring that the old man is in a coma, and
that's right. It is a refillable, Tim. Sorry. Go ahead.
People in the background are his children. What was that, honey?
I was telling Tim. Rick, you forgot empty or full. It's a refillable. It was a refillable mug that you had there, and their things.
I don't know what it was. I'm just drawing.
And as for who's on the panel, Lorenzo, of course.
Oh yeah, who's on the panel? What does that mean?
Well, anybody wants. There's a link.
Who's on the panel? That would be us 3.
Yeah.
Oh,
your
so
husband.
Lorenzo, it's Rick, Chris, and I. We are eventually going to get my beautiful friend Bethany Greenhall in a couple of weeks. So
Well,
That
he
would be
just
really
meant
cool. She's very cool. So we're
I
going to
think he
have
just-
her.
I think he just meant right here, right now.
Yeah. Well, but anyways, so oh my God, what is he doing? Christopher. What are you doing, Christopher?
I think this is it. We need a commercial break.
We need a commercial break, but I have some huge news that's not affiliated with Hero Shack, but I need to share and I need to ask. The Cyclopeans you are seeing are fan art that we have acquired over the past year. Bit Happens. Bit Happens is the coolest kid ever. He does all this stuff with those melty beads. That's very awesome. We have some ideas for our upcoming show at KidsCon. But he's a really nice guy. He does all that with those little plastic melty beads. Look at how good it is.
We're hoping to add Cyclopian to that lineup.
Yeah. We are trying to commission him for Cyclopian. Is this the video he put up? Or did you do that?
I added the music. The video was all.
But it was him, right?
Yeah.
That's all right.
I just want to do a commercial break.
No, I think that's great.
But yeah, his name is V, and she keeps calling him a kid. I got to tell you, he's at least 30, maybe 40 years old. But he has a youthful
Kid to me.
I highly recommend them. What are those? Well,
He's very cool, Beth.
They're made of plastic. They're about what, maybe an eighth of an inch thick to a quarter inch thick. They're little beads.
Wait, I'll be right back.
He melts together to make the iconic little,
Yeah, he's sort of making them look in 8-bit format, like like an old video game.
He puts it on stuff. Here, see, Diana and I were so inspired. We've actually bought some.
Hold on, I'm coming.
Yeah, we know. We're watching.
Yes, Beth. I know. I did it with the girls, so I know that you probably did it. Oh. Hold on, I'm coming, guys.
He very well would, Tim. He's open for commissions. He may be too busy to get to him immediately. He might be currently waiting. We haven't talked to him for about 2 weeks.
I just messaged him a little while ago. So anyways, the kit that Chris and I bought, it's got like a plastic, it's like a plastic frame with little pinholes. And then the beads themselves, I'm going to try to show you guys. It's these little plastic, they have holes in them. They look like little tubes. And what you do is you put them on your design, and then you take wax paper, or they give you like special paper. You put it over it, and then you press an iron, and then you can pull it off. And you have this cute little molded, like, what, 2D, Chris, 2D figure. And it is so cool. But this guy that we met, number one, he was such a cool guy. Very laid back, very friendly. And we sort of just, I don't know, we hung out because he was right next to us. And we asked him if he would be willing to do a Cyclopean for us, because I think it would be a big hit with the younger kids. It would be economical to try to sell so families could buy it. Yes, Chris. I'm sorry.
No, you're good at that tonight. Walking all over everybody with that. Let's see if I can remember. I don't really, so I want everybody else to enjoy it, but I want them for myself. I want to get a Cyclopean thing that I can have mounted on a hat like he does, or, maybe even one of the creative little keychains. I don't care. I think they're awesome. And I'm showing off Cyclopean because whenever I do, people like him. Like, we always get comments from, strangers. So I would really like to do it in that format as well.
Face and call our voice and let Crazy Face do the rest.
Sorry, I just had to do that.
Now, are you saying he does commissions? Any idea how much the commissions are? Or
No, I really don't. I think
No.
it depends on the size and the scope of the project. But that's just me speaking, out of like what I would expect.
yeah,
I know that as soon as I get a line to him, I'll know more. And it's not his fault. It's just simply we've been so busy, I haven't been able to.
yeah.
But if he catches this video, I'm still thinking about you, bro. That's why I put a little video together. But yeah, he's really super cool. And Bethany's link is in the description as well. And of course, the Great Cyclopian link is there. So if you guys are out there, you want it back, tonight's the night to back because we got 3 bling. We've already got 1 in the can, and we're just hanging out, chatting a little bit about stuff. Diana,
Yes.
what are you eating?
I'm sorry. I just realized that I was having a bite of my shrimp.
It sounds delicious. Why aren't you sharing it with the viewers?
Well, I was trying to be discreet and not like eat in front of everybody. I was trying not to let everybody hear me eat, but obviously everybody heard me eat, so I apologize again.
Well, we're trying to steal George's gimmick. You have to eat on camera.
Who's George?
Oh, we do this every week. Are you serious?
George,
Very.
George of the Jungle. George
I like George of the Jungle.
It's not George of the Jungle.
So, guys,
Yes,
Bethany
it is
just
the
put
concrete
down.
jungle.
Bethany put down that you guys can follow her on IG. That's my social media at Bethany. Oh no, I'm sorry, at Bohemian by Bethany. So follow her. She's got some great art. She's an awesome person. She's a Christian. She loves Jesus.
Was that who
Thanks,
you were
Chris.
suggesting earlier for possibly snowdrift?
Yes, this is the young lady that I think might be able to help you out. She is a sweetheart. She's trying really hard to make it in, the industry, just like all of us. And I know that she could use a little help. And she loves Jesus. I think I already said that. She's super nice. She's kind of shy, but yeah. So check her out.
Is that for Instagram or Twitter? Does she have
Instagram. Yeah, I am a boomer. Listen, you know what?
I told you it was Instagram, but you're not hearing me tonight. I don't know what's going on.
My earplugs are clogged for Chris.
You're laughing. I'm not laughing.
No, she does love Jesus. Yes.
Well, of course. Anyway.
Well, I'm answering Timothy. I'm reading the chat. That's why. Oh, I'm in so much trouble, you guys.
I do have Instagram. Does she have Twitter?
No, I think she's Instagram only. It's her only social media. Right? Did I get that
yes,
right?
Timothy, she loves Jesus. And yes, Instagram. But I'm going to try to convince her to get onto Twitter because Twitter, I think, is easier than Instagram.
But you're evil.
I'm not evil.
You can't have her go on no. Twitter's
Why?
bad. Tell her.
Well, she just doesn't pay attention. She follows who she wants to and doesn't pay attention to any of the crackpots out there.
Yeah. Well, Twitter's just I am on Twitter, but I really wish I had never discovered it sometimes.
Oh, stop, Christopher. It's perfect for you.
Twitter is a hardcore place sometimes. So, honey, once and for all, this is George P. Gaddis, the Blue Caesar of comic books, okay?
I love George. I know who he is now.
Why every week when we say you're trying to steal George's eating gimmick, do you say, who's George? Every week.
So, does George love Jesus?
You'll have to ask him. I don't know George's religious stance.
He was brought up Roman Catholic, from what I know. He, as far, I would not say he is Christian. He's Christian in name only. He probably I do not believe he's accepted Christ as Lord and Savior.
I wonder if I'm friends with him on Twitter.
Somebody's messing with Van Sciver.
I don't know who that is either.
Yeah, you're really you. I need to get you like a little diary or a book or something that
Yeah.
you can in. But this is George's page. There's the Mighty Might. Some of these we back, like the Colossals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just followed Bethany on Instagram.
Awesome. Awesome.
So the Colossals is his first book. This is the same guy who did Zerk. And so he's also out there crowdfunding right now. He's already made his goal. Bravo, bravo.
Yeah.
If you want to help us make ours, we are currently going to be spin the wheel. If you back tonight, we only get free bling. I keep going back to that. I think I'm supposed to. Oh yeah, I back all sorts of stuff. So to be a little transparent about how I choose what to back, I usually back number one if they haven't made funding yet, and if somebody I like more so than what the comic actually is, because the indies, I have found some of the best comics are the ones that would otherwise be called like crap or junk books. But if you go beyond the expectation of the house styles that we're used to from like Marvel, Disney, or Marvel and Disney, Marvel, DC, Image, all the modern publishers, there's kind of like we have this expectation and this level of quality that we expect, but that doesn't mean that there aren't other artists out there that are just as kick butt in their own way, if that makes sense. So I back a lot of things. I have a lot of comics good, but I have a lot of diamonds in the rough, and I'm very happy with all of them. So yeah, like, so let's see. Oh, I know, bro, I know that stuff too, but they already had my information. Like, we bought the Zerk shirt, what, honey, about 2 months ago. That's a little
I don't know.
Cookie Monster puppet.
Mm.
You remember, don't you?
Yeah. No, I do like the shirt, yes, and I thought he was quite funny.
Right. So when he did the book, I got involved and backed it. Now, here's the thing. Diana and I kind of live by the spirit in the sense that if somebody's going to dox us, we're not very hard to dox. All our information is already out there for the most part. We're not hard to find because of the street ministry we did. We were very open and online about it, with full names and even addresses if you look hard enough. So
Chris, you don't need to point that out, honey. Just saying.
Well, anybody who's looking already knows, honey. It's so transparent. I know you're like, I didn't know it was that transparent. No, it really is transparent. But so I have a stack of comics I'll probably only like collect because I bought them. But on the other hand, some of these guys are getting better, as the years go on. So I like looking back and seeing, the advancements they go through. The one thing I've noticed, and Rick, you kind of probably can appreciate this, is like guys who are doing the all-in-one books are far and few. So when I find them, I do give them special attention. Not saying there's anything wrong with a writer getting an artist, but it's just always something different when the creator's doing the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, like I didn't do the whole thing for number one, but I I've been involved in each part of it. I'll say.
But I mean, I know that you do a lot of stuff on your own.
Yeah.
So like you can cross over and know that the mindset I'm talking about. It's just a different process. Like when I'm working on Cluster Fudge, and perhaps I'll have a little section for this, but there's probably half a dozen pages that I roughed out and got to a certain stage of being finished, and then realized I wanted to add something or change the script a little bit.
Yeah.
So I changed the full page. Now, if I had to do that with a real, with another partner, with a fellow penciler or an inker or a colorist, that would drive them crazy. Hey, you know that page I sent over? Yeah, I know you're half done. Throw it out. We got another one coming. Poor Diana. Half the fun for her is when we sit down to read something together from the book, and I go, okay, now look, this panel's different, and I changed this one, and she's like, oh yeah, you did. Oh my goodness, I didn't even see that. And because it's an ongoing process. Even the stuff that I just showed you guys tonight, it's going to likely change even a little bit more. Like I'm trying to do a little bit more detail with color. Color is becoming a bigger thing for me. I love coloring.
Yeah, well, this page here that you see up, I'm going to be starting to color it on the 6th of September, and it's going to be live, all the coloring for it. So, that should be.
You're using what to color now? Is it Photoshop or is it?
The Clip Studio.
Clip Studio, yeah.
Yeah. How I basically is I create a folder for each panel, and then like a folder in some folders within that, like one for the Canadian Shield, one for like say this top panel, first panel, or both of them. There'd be one for the background, one for the Canadian Shield, and one for Messenger, this angel. That way, I can keep everything separate, and if I have to change something, it's somewhat easily found, because unfortunately sometimes I don't label my layers what they are, but then again, there's the colors on the side, so sometimes you can figure, okay, orange, okay, that one.
Well, it's funny because I know the pain. Like I intend to put little folders for the panels, and colors are separated and everything's nice, but by the time I really do it, God, it's like I end up with one piece drawing everything on, and then I have to turn that into a light layer so I can use it as a pencil guide and re-ink the whole thing. I probably do 4 or 5 passes on every drawing I do, and it's the more passes I do, it gets better, but it also loses a little life, if you know what I mean. Like when stuff is drawn in a sketch pattern, it feels more fluid than when you try to refine it, and I'm still working on how to do that, because I love a good sketchy punch right to the gut of a bad guy, but if you clean it up too much, they just end up looking stiff.
Yeah, it's sometimes the coloring, you can figure that out with the coloring, like.
And there's new stuff they're doing that I've tried, but I don't really like yet. Like they do a blur effect sometimes.
Yeah.
And I imitate what they're doing, but I want to do some. I don't know. It's just not me yet. Or maybe I'm not confident enough with it yet. But those that you like, there's like you said, there's so much you can do with color that just it makes it fun.
Yeah.
And I like black and white art too. It's just something about the color. It can make a whole page jump to life.
Yeah, but the same thing can be said about black and white. We've seen I like some of the black and whites that you've done. I'm like, wow, that's good. You should do a whole book in. And we've talked about that, remember?
No, I forget, because by the time I'm doing the next book, we talk about it. I'm halfway through, so it's like in between.
That's
what
true.
I mean? So remind me next time we do a off Cyclopean book, because after Cluster Fudge 2, we'll be jumping into Cyclopean 3, which will be a Christmas release more than likely.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go into 2022. And
are you gonna? I'm sorry. I was gonna say, are you gonna do another Reaper book?
Last of the Reapers, I don't think so, unless there's a huge outcry for it. I will tell you that the Reapers are intimately involved in Cluster Fudge 2, as you probably noticed in the artwork. Those are actually Reapers from the same comic universe, if you will. So the same rules apply.
Yeah.
And Giannis makes a very special appearance in Cluster Fudge, if you remember Giannis from Last of the Reapers.
I do.
And I know you do. And that's one of the cool things about indie books. Like, we're creating a whole universe that's linked together without even, necessarily announcing it. It's just kind of, for instance, Dr. Odinzeus appears in Cluster Fudge as well. And if you look at Hero Shack in Search of Heroes, which was a 4-issue kind of limited run, he appeared in that one as well. And I think he was also in Search of Heroes, but I'm stretching my brain here.
Any of those older stuff you got available for PDF off your site?
Actually, you know what? I'm actually talking to Diana, my management, about making that available on the website for free.
Yeah.
Is older stuff, and it could be used in a lot of ways to help promote the newer stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like if we keep, I figure if we keep the new stuff, you know, for sale, and then we use the stuff that we've already sold on a website collecting, we can actually probably make some money doing marketing or doing merchandising and stuff.
Yeah.
If someone
Well,
falls
even if you charge like $1 for older PDFs,
it's possible, but
at least I know free is good, and it's obviously up to you guys what you do, But
you obviously
it generates a little bit of an income.
Like giving away stuff is just kind of like, I don't know, I'm addicted to it. And poor Diana has to deal with that. But like everything we do, I'm like, oh, we're going to have a table. What are we going to give away? And she's like, what do you mean we have to sell stuff? And I'm like, but we can give something away.
Yeah, I believe I believe you got the right thing in there. That giving something away, but not everything.
Well, I do have that problem too. Kind of hence why I'm not in street ministry anymore, because I tended to, instead of teaching people how to fish, I more or less just wanted to bring them fish. And there's a benefit to that in an emergency, but at some point, I do more harm than good, it seems. So I have to.
Well, the unfortunate part with the people on the streets, a lot of them don't want to learn how to fish.
Right. Hey, so
there are ones that do, or they know how to, but for whatever reason at this point they don't want to. And we're not to judge them in that way, but just love on them the best that we can.
Oh yeah. So Diana's upstairs getting a snack, so I just want to read this kind of loud so she can hear it. Diana, the reason I'm suggesting manga for you is because of the variety of genres you can choose from. And Terry's not kidding. If I'm not mistaken, you can find like manga on almost anything. Like you can find manga about restaurants and their big storyline is how they're cooking their meals, or it could be about a tactile factory, or horse riding, or whatever. Manga does tend to cross all sorts of places that comics. Like my vision of comics is mostly superhero.
Yeah, well, therein lies the problem. We think of manga as a genre in and of itself, and since it just means comic in Japan, of course, just like here, we've got all different genres of comics. They have all different genres of comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Style, like their house style is all the same, but yet it's kind of like when you say, all cars look the same. When you really look, they all have little differences. But the main style is distinct, and it's, for me, one of the things I've noticed more than anything is the lettering is completely different. And I don't mean the direction, I mean the way they use the balloons and stuff,
Yeah. There's Western, by Western, I mean Western as in cowboys and Indians stuff. There's, romance stuff. That stuff's not quite as popular. There's horror stuff,
Right.
Yeah.
All that stuff in America at one time.
Yeah. DC even did Bible comics for a while.
Right. Now, if I said something like America, should I be saying North America? Canada pretty much follows the same trends. I don't know about Mexico, though. Mexico is a whole different culture of comics.
Hi, Terry. I stepped away, but you can choose from. I see it. I just read what he wrote.
Yeah, so we should probably get you like a trade book or something, that would be full of. Actually, manga comes in like 200-page books, anyways, don't they?
I know, but don't you have to be? So to draw manga, like, how do you draw manga? Like, do you go to school for that? Like, what is it? Like,
Well, there probably is, but there's different styles of drawing that, just like there's different styles of drawing um, American comics. Although a lot of times the Japanese thing, because of their culture, usually the bad guys have the small beady eyes, and the good guys have the big open eyes, like say like Sailor Moon or Astro Boy. Because they're the good guys, they have these big open eyes. Where I'm not sure who I can.
Like, you're right. Manga, I do remember that manga they have the eyes. It's the eye thing.
Listen,
right?
if you were going to draw manga, you would that after say 100 hours of repetitiously copying stuff that you looked at, it's a simplistic style, but if you don't nail it, it looks stupid as heck. If that makes sense. It's kind of like drawing Disney style. If you don't nail a Disney style, it doesn't look right. But if you draw Disney and you have the style down, it'll look perfect. Same thing with manga. If you have that flair down, and it really, I think you can get it if you just repetitiously use the same strokes, the same designs in the eyes, the same nose. Their noses, mouths are even different because they use very simple shapes sometimes just to define things.
No.
Really, it's a testimony as to what a comic really can be, because the goal isn't to make necessarily a piece of fine art where you look and it's almost like a photograph. The goal is to, in some cases, make it as fast as possible using as few as lines as possible and get the most out of those lines.
But even they have in manga the very detailed stuff, especially a lot of their mech type stuff would be a lot more detailed, like maybe Robotech. Gundam.
Yeah, there is a lot of detail in a lot of them. I'm thinking more of like the face structures, and what I love about manga is they can draw anybody in their serious style, in manga serious style, but they're loose enough typically so that like when they're surprised, they'll make a completely goofy face. And I mean goofy, like the mouth will become like a big squiggly oval and the eyes will bug out, and they'll put like hash marks over their head or something to represent confusion. You would never see that in an old Western, or not old, but in a Western comic. But you do in these, and it brings almost like a sense of cartoony fun when you see that, because they can do it in the middle of a serious story, and you're like, or I'm so adjusted, I'm like, oh, look, that was funny. Whereas when I was a kid, I would have been like, oh, that's trash. Hey, look, I took a breath and nobody's talking.
Well, you don't give much room. I'm sorry. You don't give much room for people to talk. And when they do, you don't necessarily like it, especially if it's me.
I love it. No, I love it.
You don't like me talking. You know that.
I love it when you talk. The only thing I don't like is when you talk over me or you don't hear me. I'm like, hey.
Oh, stop.
What are my feelings? Hey, now, I have to ask, did Bethany happen to notice what was in our commercial for 8-Bit?
I don't know.
That looks like a nice animated version of Cyclopian.
This is actually the artwork of our friend Bethany.
Where is it? Right there.
No, that's not it. Hang on.
That's a watercolor. Yes, it is. That's the watercolor.
That wasn't the watercolor, honey. That was Jace's digital. Hang on. Yes, it was.
That was Jace's digital. The one before that was her watercolor. Yeah. The
I don't know. Oh, there we go. I'm hitting the volume. It was right there. That's hers.
Yeah, that gives me like a Super Friends vibe.
Yeah. And this was what? Is this watercolor or pastel? Or pastel?
That's the watercolor one, right, Bethany? Wait, digital watercolor and
Gauche.
Gouache, or whatever it's called. It's a technique.
Gotcha.
So while we were admiring the artwork, I got a message from V. He said, I was checking it out on Facebook. That's awesome. Thank you. I've been working on your piece this week since I got back.
Aw. That's so sweet, man. That'll be awesome. I didn't even tell him we were advertising him. I wonder how we found out.
I told him to check it out. I wanted to let him know so we could look at it. Like, if it happens, that's a cool thing. So I know, Bethany, you didn't like the physical watercolor one. I liked it personally, but I like watercolor.
Was that the physical or the digital?
The one Chris showed, I think that was the digital one.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of cool. We need to get a print of it because I've got the other three. We've got one from Jace, one from Cubic, and one from Eric. I can't pronounce his last name.
I know.
On his show.
Eric Nienakowski.
Nienakowski.
Yes. Bethany is very cool. See what she uses? Yeah, that's what I use. Procreate.
I know. But, in all fairness, the poor girl was like, hey, do you want to do Cyclopean? I dropped it on her and she's like, yeah. And she had it done within, oh my God, less than a week. It was awesome.
That was one of the most coolest things because a lot of times people will commit to projects like I said I was going to do a snowdrift. I've only started. She's not that hard. It's just that I started the pose.
Mm-hmm.
Like I take a break and then I go back and I start. I get so distracted by my own self. I start working on something from.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I don't expect, if you end up doing snowdrift, I don't expect you to do it probably till after thing number 3, Cyclopean number 3. Maybe a little bit while you're working on.
But I am hoping to be able to squeeze stuff in because. Also, depending on how much I have to like, so there's a difference between pencils and then colors and then inks.
Yeah.
And depending on what I'm asked to do, I don't know. Like my pencils are rough, but I can tighten those up. And really, because they're digital, an inker, I think the inkers are good because they go in and they fix the shadows. They add depth and weight to the things that you need added weight to.
Yeah, and that can be done through coloring too.
It can be, but that's like when Diana freaks over the black ink that I do, the black and white.
Yeah.
It's because I've used those techniques, like the things you learn from how to draw comics the Marvel way. Say that, but ladies and gentlemen, if you want to learn how to draw comic books, one of the best books I've ever read is How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way.
Yeah.
Cool, got a senior style. Beautiful. Oh
yeah. I watched the video for that. I don't know how many times I borrowed it from our library here in Hamilton, recorded it, and watched it 100 billion times.
Yeah, and it's on YouTube now. I watch it every now and then. And to be honest, I've asked for the book a couple of times for Christmas, but I always get different ones. But someday
I'll get it for you this year.
Well,
just tell me the title in it again. I probably forgot.
How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. And it's funny because I remember it, I've read it so many times, I can quote pages from it. You know what I'm saying? Because wrote this little bit of dialogue with it, and it's engraved. Like when I throw a punch, I still picture the punch that he shows. Like this is how comic book companies draw a punch. This is how Marvel draws a punch, and they kind of dissect the whole way it's done. I'll show you the video because I think you'd appreciate it, even if you never use the techniques. It's a fun thing to look at.
Yeah. It's definitely a good video, especially Stan in it.
Yeah.
Not that there's mistakes at Marvel. We don't have mistakes. Yes, but it's a typical Marvel mistake compared to a typical whomever else mistake.
I have a question
Yes.
to all the artists out there, which would be everybody on the panel but me.
Which is
And
all
everybody in
existing.
everybody in the chat but me. But when you recognize that you had a skill or a talent for either doing your art, whatever it might be, drawing, what made you gravitate to where you're at now? Like, in other words, so for Chris, it's comic books. Rick, I think it's comic books. Beth,
Yeah.
it's more watercolors and kind of a different. And Terry, it's I think it's comic books as well. So I was just wondering, like, what you guys.
For a sec,
Go ahead.
it's not comic books per se with me.
Mm-hmm.
It's storytelling. Like, I would love to do the same thing in film, but I could never do it myself. I'd have to rely on other people, and you know how grumpy I would get. The reason that I do my work in comics is because I can do the whole production, which means that it thinks or it thinks or floats on what I do. And I'm saying this for other people because I already know this. The hardest part is when you put something out there and you know there are people out there that are going to crap all over it. You've got to be brave. You got to put it out there, crap on it. The absolute best thing to do is basically take the attitude of thank you for giving your opinion, and never get defensive.
Right.
People point out problems with my book, and I wanted to defend it because I didn't understand it, and I go, thank you. I'll look into that, because if they misunderstood something, it doesn't mean they're a bad reader. It means I didn't describe it right.
Right.
And I may have described it
Well,
properly.
it could mean they're a bad reader, but yeah, you better check it out just in case.
Yeah, but that's a really good thing, is to always reflect back on yourself. If somebody doesn't understand something, or like in my world, if a child's not doing something, I'm not doing what I need to do correctly.
But like the best thing, Diana, is like when we're reading, someone who reads a comic generally knows. For instance, you would read all the balloons in a panel before going to the next panel. But because she doesn't read comics by the rules,
I had no idea. It was so funny.
Goes for someone who doesn't read comics, and I'm actually learning to adjust. So even though I know, hey, if I put a balloon down here in the lower right of this panel, the reader should read that before they read the second panel. If I see her do it more than once, I adjust the panel, because then I know, okay, something's going on. And to the eye of a non-comic book reader who doesn't know those general rules, they're going straight across. So I need to make my work fit her pattern versus trying to educate her on how to read something the way I want her to.
Well, you don't want to do it so much so that you throw every other reader off that normally knows how to do stuff. No offense to Diana.
Well, hopefully what happens is I find like a universal harmony. The one thing about balloons that is really funny is they add a lot of white space unless you're coloring them. So like when I'm looking at a page, when I do have text walls, and occasionally I do have a text wall or two, because you got to drop those somewhere, right? I try to break them up in little patterns so that like they bounce. Like I actually picture like little bouncing balls when I do it. I should shut up because people won't understand, but it's like a little ping pong bouncing around the page, and it doesn't make sense the way that it hits this wall and then goes to the next one, or I add a lot. Like I have all these weird things in my head. I'm going to stop now.
So no, that's really good, Chris. But I wanted to put I wanted to hear from Terry and Rick, and well, Beth put hers up.
So Beth, it says,
I started letter writing and making things of paper and watercolor paints to just send with my letters to friends, and people started asking for things in the watercolor, and I just love the tactile and sensory feel of the painting with it. Then I did a lot of self-learning from YouTube, and in the process started doing my own style. And that's like a ground roots artist right there. So in other words, she didn't go to any kind of training or anything like that. She watched some YouTube videos and just let herself create. And I really admire and respect that. And Terry, I don't know, Image Comics doesn't have a house style, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah, no, he's right. Image is it tends to go in different directions. In all fairness, he's right about that. I kind of include them because they're a larger publisher. But truly, if you're going to be honest, they go into actually of all the Western comics, they're the most like manga because you will find all sorts of different comic books from them that you wouldn't expect in a comic. They're just not as successful as manga. I have other mediums like pastels and oils. So I'm just too lazy to teach with those right
now. There's honesty. I love it.
Well, yeah, so do I. Because to be honest, I can sympathize. And if anybody's out there listening, we are thinking of doing some very simple animation, similar to the Flash style animation of the late 90s, early 2000s. However, I'm stumbling and bumbling. So if anybody knows anything about that, and I'm not talking about Procreate's animation because I can do that and it's okay, but I really, really, really would love to do some shorts with Cyclopian, even Kidclopian. But I'm lazy. It's not really I'm lazy, it's I'm doing the comic. It's hard to do both. That's true, Tim. Tim's pointing out another thing that should be looked at about the West versus the East when it comes to comics, and that is manga generally will not go woke. And when the woke crowd of America has pushed against manga for things that they put in their books, manga generally wins because they kind of just thumb their noses at America and say, hey, we're making our books, you guys do your thing. Yeah, Japan does not play woke very well at all. The horrible side of that is in Asia, there seems to be a lot more racism stuff, racism towards colored people, and a lot of misunderstanding about that. But in other ways, they're far more, I don't know what to say. I don't know if it's good or bad, but they're different than America, such as the wokeness. Here, if someone's offended, there's like 40 people lined up to try to help them, and for every 40 people that sign on, there's another 40 behind each one of them, and so we can have these woke fests and destroy ourselves, or look at Japan and just do what they do. They just say, no, we're going to do it this way, and if they don't make it, they don't make it. That's kind of how they live and die. If your idea is good, it'll survive, even if it's not woke. But if your idea is crap, it doesn't matter if it's woke or not. Anybody pay attention to Twitter this week? There were some creators, and they were begging for rent money after telling customers if they don't like them, they don't have to buy their books, and it's not customer service. And there was all these things going around with these, I guess it's a handful of woke creators that were bashing their customers more or less and just talking down to people. And because August was slow in sales, they actually started GoFundMes to pay their bills. I'm like, that is so insane, You can't kick people in the teeth and then expect them to buy your books. It's just, I don't know. There's a lot going on in America that really needs to change. It just needs to be, hey, this is my creation, and I'm sorry if it offended you.
So,
but the thing is, that's exactly it. If you don't like my whatever it is I'm selling, you don't buy it. And that's not sort of go broke. That's just reality, really. But but then you can't complain if people don't like it.
So what I have to say about that, because I'm going to say something, guys. Got to say something. Twitter seems to nurture a lot of disagreements, and people are very free to make comments that are hurtful on Twitter. But Twitter is also a really great way to get your name out there. And while you guys were discussing that, I was reading the chat, and I noticed that Bethany was talking about, and I think maybe Chris or Rick can answer this, about digital media and how awkward it was for her, but she's had to use it to be more efficient and just update her art and stuff like that. So
Well, digital media, I got to tell you guys something, and Diana already knows this, and if you've listened to us before, you might have heard it. But without my iPad, I would have no comic books to show you because I could never finish a book on paper. My, perception of what looks good and what doesn't on paper never worked because I would erase it to death or white it out to death, or give up because I would just say these just don't look like they're ever going to be good enough to print. Now, some people, highly critical people, might look at some of my work and say, well, that should never have been printed. I disagree. I enjoy printing stuff, but it's all a learning curve and it's an improvement. But without the digital, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. So much, like I'll do a drawing that takes, a day and a half, but it might become one panel in a comic because that's the only place I could use it. But it's all digital. If I did that drawing 11/17 on paper and then wanted to shrink it down to be a little quarter-page panel, well, that doesn't work. Not in real life. You have to make copies and photos and zoom down.
Exactly. And just for the record, for anybody that may be wondering out there, Chris can draw in a typical medium. He can use pencil, he can use pen, he can use ink, he can use colors. So it's not that he can't draw. Like I know a lot of people are like, oh, he's on the computer. That's so easy. But it's not easy.
Well, no, that's okay. Without a doubt, if you're stuck on something, a computer can make it easier to get unstuck. There have been artists known to trace. You can probably find them. And I don't have to tell you. There have been artists who, famous ones like Norman Rockwell, used, it was called a Lucy, but it was basically a projector where he would sketch out his artwork onto his canvas. And yes, but I found out a lot of the great artists were tracing the basics and then filling them in. And that to me was a shock because in comics, as you guys very well know, we pride ourselves on drawing from our mind. Now, it took a lot for me to be able to accept that I could pull up a picture and look at the picture and draw it. I thought that was cheating, but there's a lot worse than that happening. Now, yes, the computer can do it, but if you don't have the talent, you're gonna get a bunch of stuff that looks like photographs that were, Gaussian blurred or 3D, software. Like there's a lot of people using the 3D poser type stuff and models with like Dazzle or whatever it's called, Daz 3D.
Yeah.
Some of that may be a form of entertainment, but I don't think that's really comic. I think that's something a little different, Comic has to be like from the hand and mind of the creator in a line form,
But even if you go without the tracing aspect, if you're drawing, like on a graphics tablet and drawing it into the computer, you've got to be just as good, maybe even better than a traditional artist because it is totally different than drawing by hand. Like I can draw half decent by hand, but I try and go and draw on like a computer with my graphics tablet onto the computer, and it does not look the best.
Well, now that's funny you say that because I've had a lot of artists tell me, man, I just don't like drawing on glass, and I actually prefer drawing on glass. We got a sheet cover for the iPad that simulated paper pretty well, and I hated it. I wanted to go back to my glass, so I guess maybe that's something I've gotten used to that a traditional artist wouldn't be able to just. Because it does feel slippery at first. It feels like you're drawing on it almost.
Now you're talking about drawing straight onto the screen, where the graphics tablet I have, and maybe it's different between the two. The graphics tablet I have, I'm not drawing directly on the screen. I'm, got like, a black little thing in it, where I draw, it shows up on my screen.
Right. Yeah, that's how I started too. I used a bamboo, and then we bought the Hyrutin, I think it was, a Hyrutin. Yeah. And when I got into the iPads, I gave all those out to kids who had computers at home because they all thought they were the, cat's meow, and I'm like, yeah, they are cool. But once I got into the iPad, and really it was when we went iPad Pro 12.9, This thing here, I would cry if this got destroyed somehow. God forbid. I'd have to go out and buy another one because the smaller one even I can't use anymore. It's so like I wish they had a 17-incher. I would buy that in a heartbeat.
Oh,
Are you, he's trying to say he wants another. He wants to update. Oh dear.
What about getting a different brand name, something other than Apple? Like, I know they have stuff bigger in, say, I think it's Antique.
Well, I have looked at Wacom. Anything else is going to pretty much put me in a Windows machine, and
Yeah.
plus Windows. But I'm a Procreate like nasty fan now. I actually have, I guess, Comic Life that I use for lettering. I think that's what it's called, and they have a full drawing suite that's very compatible to Procreate, but it doesn't have the same feel. So to get me into another OS or another platform, I'd really have to have a solid art program, and I'm sure there's one out there. I just don't know what it would be. So right now I'm at a, I don't want to leave what I know.
Yeah. Well, I know Clip Studio is really good. I like that. A lot of actually artists use Clip Studio. You know?
Yeah, I haven't downloaded, but I haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah. And the great thing is, I think it's available for Mac and for PC.
Yeah, it is on iPad and on my Mac. But you know what the problem is, really? It's because the pace that we're creating comics at, we don't really have a lot of time to play. So, like, I can sit down and play with it, but I have to get, like, I have a schedule in my head where, like, I look at it and I'm, okay, I have to finish a page today. I have to, rough out 2 more, and I have to, get that one rough up to this standard. And I do that all so that when Diana sits down with me this Sunday, she'll have at least, 5 to 10 pages to read. And by the time we're done, we end up with, somewhere between 40 and 80. And it's just, I would be so lost without that weekly read because she just sets it all correct, and even then, sometimes we miss stuff, but like because we repeatedly do it, it gets better all the time. I think somebody just, guys, let's see. All right, I'm going to let this guy in. I don't know if I know who he is. Hey, what's up, man?
Oh, pretty good. And you?
Pretty good, man. Welcome to your
Oh, sweet.
So how do we say your name?
Sorry, what was that?
How do we say your name?
Arginus. It's not my name. It's just someone I like.
Cool.
Yeah. It's a food activist.
A food activist? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Cool. So what does that mean? I don't know what that's like. Is that like vegetarian or something?
Oh no. It's raw meat, raw eggs, blood, and raw dairy.
Wow, bro, it's like hardcore.
Hey, nothing makes a human feel better. Just serious.
No, that sounds interesting for sure.
I've never felt better.
Yeah. Timmy, he's into raw meat. I asked if you were a vegan or a vegetarian, and I was like, raw meat.
Nobody lasts on a vegan diet. They all get sick.
I did. How long did I do it? Maybe 3 months or so. And it was kind of cool because the birds were coming to me out in public parks and stuff. And then I broke.
I did it for 2 years. I got really sick.
Yeah, I didn't get sick, but they all ran away. So I was like, the heck with the birds. I'll just eat more meat. So I tried. I just couldn't stay off the meat.
Hey man, you gotta check out my Pants Aren't Tough book. Check this baby out.
Nice computer.
Isn't it sweet? It just got it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are you a comic creator by chance?
Am I what?
Are you into comics?
Oh, no, I'm not. You guys?
Yeah, we're all about comics.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Comics always need like meat.
Oh my God, Chris, you're so bad.
Wait, what?
Comics always
That
need,
was a. Sorry, good. Go ahead.
you need that meat and muscle. You need protein. You can't have women.
Oh no, you know you crave animal fats. That's what you crave when you eat meat.
I wouldn't know. I eat it.
Does fish count? I like fish.
It's okay. You should be going for red meat because you're made of red meat.
Yeah, but red meat is, I don't know. It's okay. I don't mind a good cheeseburger once in a while. Does that count?
That's still plant-based. That's still a plant-based diet.
Is it really?
Okay, wait a minute. Beef, how is beef a plant-based diet? That's an honest question. 'Cause I
No,
don't
it's
understand.
plant-based because it's mostly plants.
But it comes from a cow.
No,
Yeah,
I
no,
think
I'm saying a burger.
I think the bun and all that.
Yeah.
But okay. So just go with the hamburger, like hamburg meat. That's not that. How can that be plant-based? Is it because they eat grass or something?
No, I'm saying a burger doesn't count. Yeah, if you're just eating beef, sure. Yeah, that's cool.
All right.
Strips, by the way, bro. I remember my first comics were Sunday Funnies from the Lawrence Eagle Tribune. Little shout out to Massachusetts Lawrence, but yeah, man, comic strips were it for a long time. Sorry, man. We were talking comics, and I'm like, I love meat too, so I'm kind of torn between two lovers there. Oh, meat. Oh, comics.
Oh my God, Chris.
So
you guys like eggs?
Oh yeah.
I love it.
Now,
I don't
Jack,
eat them raw though.
I've done it
Raw is kind of gross.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you gotta do it.
Nah. I like eggs that are hey, like Rocky. He did a whole pitcher full of eggs.
Yeah, well,
What does it taste like? Does it taste like anything, or is it just slimy and gooey going down?
I bet you it tastes like eggs.
Okay, sorry. I know I did ask you that question with your poor mouth.
So really, the white part doesn't taste like much. If you buy from bad source, they taste watery. You don't want to buy watery egg whites.
Okay.
I get mine from a good source, but the egg yolk, man, that's good.
What's it taste like? If you can give me an idea.
Picture okay, you know when you have bubble gum and you blow a bubble, it feels like you're sucking a bubble with some really good cream. That's what it tastes like.
Oh wow! It tastes like creamy,
and then
creamy bubble.
and then you pop it, and it's like clam chowder cream. It's real good. You know.
Well, I like clam chowder, and I like cream, and I like all that stuff. I still don't know if I would eat a raw egg, but kudos to you, my friend.
Well, the thing is, personally, vegan diet made me seriously sick. I had bloody noses every day. And I was eating what the government said was healthy, which was oatmeal. So,
I'm glad you found a diet that makes
it clearly doesn't make you. It does not make you healthy, because my weight was underweight. I'm finally getting more weight finally. And my upper back pain is gone with the help of hot baths also with this diet. Eggs are the fastest healing food. If you eat 20 a day, man, that'll fix everything, you know?
Wow. I'm glad to hear that. That's awesome. I think that's some good information for people that might be viewing this out there. So let me ask you, have you ever read a comic book, or do you know anything about comics?
No, I don't.
All right. Well, we have a couple of creators here in the audience.
Oh, sweet.
Terry from Mighty Geek Studios, Timothy, Rick, who is Cross Comics, and then Christopher T, who is the host of the show.
Sweet.
Yeah. So we were just sitting here chit-chatting about different comics and stuff like that.
Our comic features a one-eyed alien hero from outer space. Yeah, alien, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
And this issue, he fights a giant squid in the Gulf. It's a lot of fun. I make it sound childish, but what we're trying to do is have that kind of like that fun from the 80s, but there's all sorts of undertones in the story. So like we try to make it for both, kids and adults if the adults are reading it. It's really just a blast. So tonight we're doing the whole if somebody backs the book, we will spin the wheel. I should show that just for fun. We only got once tonight. Hang on.
Yeah, you got a setup. You got a setup going.
Well, we did it last week and it was amazing. This week's been slower, but I knew it would be. So yeah, there's the wheel. I'm going to spin it just for. This wheel because it's more variety. Last week we got 4 T-shirts in a row or something like that. It was like, no, it's rigged, I swear.
Huh.
But it was one I chose. A really cheap one. Like this one's cheap too, but it's supposed to be for education. The Rough Animator app.
Oh, really?
I did find another one too, Terry, but it was kind of I don't know. It was kind of ancient looking. I don't know if it's any good. I got to figure that out. Diana, what's no for? Oh,
Wow.
I see it. Tim's got a good sense of humor.
Tim's asking questions. Did the young man leave? Oh, there he is.
There he is. Tim asked
So he was trying to be fresh about your raw eat meeting and wanted to know if you know Mr. E. coli. Get it? Like, as you eat raw meat, E. coli. I'm sure you make the connection. He was trying to be funny, but like I said, we are comic book creators, not comedians. We try though. Yes.
Anna, hold up a second.
Hey.
No, Sam.
What's bad about E. coli?
I don't know. I've never had it. And salmonella.
There's nothing bad about it. If anybody eats raw meat, they're going to eat E. coli. If it's not in the meat, you're not eating meat. Same goes to salmonella. You're made of this bacteria. It's pretty satanic to think that this is bad for you.
It's probably just the dose. You probably can't. It's probably not good to have it in high doses.
Oh.
Why? You're made of it.
Yeah, well, we're made of salt, and if you have too much or too little salt, too, it can drive you.
You're not made of salt. No, you're not made of salt. You have sodium nutrients.
Yeah, well,
salt is toxic.
Yeah, we have salt in our bodies. You can, when you sweat,
No, you have sodium. You have sodium in your body, not salt.
So listen, so I want to clarify that E. coli isn't in everybody's body. There are some E. colis that are that would make our tummies upset and make us sick, but all of our bodies have some form of E. coli.
Where's the proof that it makes you sick? They say all these foodborne illnesses, but they can't even study a single person who eats raw meat on this foodborne illness because it can't be. No studies have been done on it, so nobody even eats raw meat. So for them to even say how there's millions of foodborne illnesses due to raw meat is silly as hell, because it's because of toxins. That's the clear reason.
All right. So I posted something that I just found on Dr. Google. So I have full faith in Google. But I do know that there are E. coli in our body and they're pathogens. But
we have thousands of strands. We have thousands of strands in our lower intestine.
So that is what he is trying to say, is that we have E. coli in our body. And what I think the comic book creators are saying that in their experience, E. coli, they have heard, has been, unhealthy and not good for them. So we like to have a lot of fun and, just talk about comics and, and stuff like that.
Whatever.
But no, I appreciate you you coming in and telling us and educating us a little
I've
bit.
been on
I
this for
think,
6 months.
yeah,
I
and
haven't
you
been
like
sick
it.
once.
That's
I've
awesome.
never
I am
felt
very
better.
happy for you. Praise God for you there,
Never
my
felt
friend.
better.
You
That
want
is
to ask,
awesome.
like with a homeopathic type of doctor, like a more of a natural type thing, or is it just something you're doing on your own based on studies that you've done, or?
I found this because of someone named Augenus Vonderplanets. You can check him out. He's a food activist. He's actually I was going through a lot of pain from this vegan diet, and I had all this upper back pain and bloody noses, and I kept researching, and bam, I found Augenus.
Hmm.
Oh,
I
that's
do agree,
he
though.
was.
I got it. Okay.
So I just want to say I do agree with you that the food that we eat today, I believe with all my heart, is a big part of why we're so sick. I think the additives and all the
Food is
chemicals,
medicine.
stuff like that.
Food is
Yep.
medicine.
But the food that's manufactured today is not as healthy as it was, let's say, 20 years ago. I think they had a lot
When
of
you say
chemicals put into it.
when you mean food manufacturer, do you mean meat processing? Because that's
Yeah,
all
I
I'm
mean
thinking of when you say that.
everything. Meat processing, grains, vegetables, everything that is grown today.
Humans aren't meant to eat vegetables or grains.
Well, maybe not, but they have a lot of chemicals added in the way that they are manufactured.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying.
That's true.
Including the meat that we eat, the meat, because the cows
No,
eat
that's if
the.
you buy it in stores.
Well, yeah, if you buy it in stores.
which
Yeah.
most people do.
Yeah. Have fun finding butcheries in cities. You won't.
But I think it's awesome that you have found a way to eat to make you feel wonderful. I think that's great. I'm glad that your
Man,
back pain is gone.
I
You
hope
know?
everyone hears this because basically if if I keep getting healthier and healthier, this is living
Mhm.
proof that this is a working diet.
That's awesome.
You know? So you guys like comics. What
Mhm.
about Black's Law Dictionary?
I don't even know what that is. What is that?
I don't know what that is. You have to teach us.
It's this what
Black slide
attorneys
what?
read. It's what attorneys read.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm no attorney, that's for sure.
Yeah, you can educate yourself on law with this book. It's pretty great.
So I'm looking up at Jonas. I'll check
Oh
him
yeah,
out
that's
later.
his name.
Yeah, I just wanted to see. I found him. I'll check him out, see what I can
Great.
see, and let you know what I thought if I see you again.
Awesome.
Yeah, well, I'll look into anything because you know what? The best ideas for comic book stories come when you go on these little rabbit trails, where you never know where the rabbit hole is going to lead, and sometimes you find something that will help you, or you find something that will enhance the story, or maybe create a character or something new. I'm
Yeah.
always looking
Yeah.
for inspiration.
Yeah, Chris,
Well,
that'll give you a whole nother. You're right.
Wait.
It's a rabbit trail.
narrowly go along,
the thing is, it wasn't just Augenus that I found this out about. I actually lived in Kenya for a year, and I met Maasai who drank blood and ate raw meat, and it begged me to question why are they eating it. And then I found Augenus, and it all started clicking.
Mhm.
You know, what animal in nature doesn't what carnivore in nature doesn't eat raw meat and blood? You know.
Yeah, at least at some point, there must have been more raw meat involved because they didn't even have great cooking abilities until recently. And even now, when you go to a restaurant, I don't know. I try to. You'll probably laugh at this because of the way you eat, but I always order my steaks well to medium well, and they always come a step or two more rare than what I asked for, which is hilarious.
Right.
Huh. Well.
Yeah, he does. He doesn't like any red in his meat. He'll bring it back. He'll say, "Take it back. It's walking." I'm like, "It's not walking. It's medium rare. It's good."
Hey, you'd love it. You'd love it if you knew that that was what you're supposed to be eating, and if you knew what you felt like after you ate it.
Well, I'm really glad that you are feeling
Sounds
good.
cool, though. it almost sounds like, and I'm not calling you a vampire, bro, but it almost sounds vampirish. It's like, you just don't know until you taste it. Oh.
I don't think that's what he's saying at all, you guys. I think you guys are all. This is a creative audience, so you have to be mindful that their creative minds are going to start like going about what you're saying, because this is not like a food show or a health food show. You just kind of popped in. I'm like, oh, hi, welcome. What? Oh, you eat raw meat? Okay, cool. And it makes you feel good. That's awesome. And your backache is gone. That's terrific. And you look great. That's awesome. Good for you. I'm glad that you found something that's working. Then my husband goes, so are you a vampire? Like, Chris, really? You just asked this young man. He was a vampire.
You didn't say, is he a vampire? You said it's so.
He was alluding to it. Listen, I know my husband well. He's going to be like, maybe he was a real vampire. I'm like, no, he's not.
If anybody asks the question if you're a vampire, they've never had fresh chicken blood. That's the truth, because they would never have asked that.
Well, I just am not like into eating raw meat or anything like that. Although I do like sushi.
You'd love
that
it.
is raw. Well, sushi's raw, and I do
started.
like medium rare meat. That's kind of cool. I don't know. But anyways, so what do you do for work? What do you do for work? I want to know a little bit more about you. You're quite interesting. So what do you do for work besides eat raw meat and raw eggs on live stream?
Currently, I'm doing plumbing, AC, and heating, but I got this Panasonic Tough book. I'm gonna make things happen with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I sleep here.
Cool.
Did you say your book?
Chris, what?
Sorry, what?
You said something about writing when you talked about the laptop. You're gonna write what with it?
No, I'm not gonna write with it. I'm gonna solve programs, do programming on it, because I used to do it in the past, and I want to get back into it. This is
cool.
fun.
You're writing programs, computer programs, or are you writing programs about how to eat raw meat? I'm sorry. I'm not being a jerk. I'm really like, wait a minute. Wait, hold on. Hold everything. This poor guy is thinking, I'm like, look, it's me. I'm Diana. I am the co-host of the show. I'm
Diana.
not being like, hi. I'm not trying to be an idiot. I'm like really interested. I'm like, okay, so do you write computer programs, or are you writing like programs for the computer programs? All right, cool.
I
So you're a
write
very smart young
computer
man. You're smart.
programs.
Okay. There's Christopher.
No, that's just what I like to do.
Mm-hmm.
But you could write a computer program about eating raw meat. It'd be really cool.
No,
that
I think
would
that's
be cool.
awesome.
Thanks for the idea.
I'm serious. Like something that told you how to prepare like a beef meal with raw beef. How do you do it? What's the right way? Did you buy?
Can I put potatoes?
That could be cool.
Can I cook potatoes with my raw meat? I could probably do something like that.
Why would you eat potatoes with it?
I don't know.
Potatoes have no nutrients, and they're just fiber.
The fact of me eating a piece of raw meat is just not. I just can't get over it yet.
Hey, the very time I had it, I remember it. I had this big steak on my plate, and I only had a few bites. First hour, just to make sure my stomach wouldn't, because I was pretty scared at first. I was like, the government demonized doing this. So I tried after like 7 more hours. I ate like a good pound. And I'm going to tell you this. The morning after, I went to go get my coffee like I usually do. Hated it.
Mm-hmm. Really?
I've been drinking coffee all my life. Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. So for you, this has proven to be a life changer.
Oh, yeah. 100%. I share it to all cancer patients I meet for them to check out Autogenous.
And it's actually called Tatare, I think. And it does say it's bursting
Tartar?
with flavor. Yeah, yes. It's completely safe to eat. It's easy to digest. It's filled with enzymes. It's filled with vitamin B. It will open your eyes to more food options. It's a great
Yeah.
source of
What's
protein.
what's the
And your
difference?
immune system will thank you. That's what they're talking about raw meat. Because I'm a Google person. So I am Googling as you're sharing because it gives validity to what you're saying because there are other people who also believe like you. I honestly, I've never thought of it, but I have vaguely in the back of my mind have heard that eating some raw meat is not unhealthy for you, that it could be beneficial to your system. So I
Why
wanted
would
to
it be
Google it.
unhealthy? Your cells are
I
made
don't
of cholesterol. Your brain is made of cholesterol. Your cells need to regenerate, and they
know. Mhm.
need cholesterol to regenerate. So,
That's right.
well,
So
the scientists say don't eat cholesterol because too much cholesterol is bad for you, and that's not true. Because then you're
right.
saying too much of what you're made of is bad.
Well, the South Beach diet, if I remember right, or whatever it was, the Atkins kind of played on that, where it was, God, it was like eat all the meat you can. And
Yes. Chris,
avoid
Terry
all.
wants to come in. Terry's in the back room. Just
Oh,
letting
Terry,
you know.
brother, hang on, let me see if I can find him.
Sorry about that. I noticed that the private chat came on and he's like, knock, knock. I'm like, he must be in the back room. He wants to probably come in and say hi.
Terry, come back, bro. Hang on, I gotta move some of this stuff. That's what it is. I have too many videos on reserve. Hang on, look at this one. That's how you get at that one. Yeah, I don't see him. I think that must be an old message. Terry, if
No,
you're
I
still,
just saw that.
well, I don't see
Oh,
him.
maybe 1017. Terry, Earth to Terry. Look in the private chat. Do you see it? It came in at 1017. Knock, knock. Who's there? Maybe he wanted me to say who's there.
Oh, it was a joke. You didn't finish the joke.
Oh, sorry.
He's gonna say disco, and then and then you're gonna say disco who, and then he's just gonna leave private chat because he's gonna disconnect. I've heard of that one before.
I don't think Terry will do that. But Bethany had a good question. She said that she couldn't think of any ancient people who did not cook their meat or who didn't eat vegetables and grains. And I don't know.
Yeah, they'll change their history books for sure. They'll change it just so they don't even give you the thought of doing it. Pharmacies are $1 trillion business. Why would they lose that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Thing I'm really down on too. How can I say this? I don't trust them right now. I like with everything happening in the world and the COVID and the politics and stress and all this other crap. I'm like, I don't really trust mainstream information. Not that I ever should have, but there was a time where it was more comfortable to listen to the harmony of, look, everybody, we're happy. Well, it's crazy right now, so I don't watch the news. I don't even like watching the weather because I know that Sherry Spears is lying to me. She's the local lady. She says it's going to be sunny.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
It's going to be sunny all day, and then by the time the afternoon comes, it's raining, and I'm like, Sherry, you lied to me again.
He gets very upset about that. So, guys, guess what I have to do for my public speaking class?
Oh, I know.
Stand up to a whole bunch of people and give a speech.
Yes, and guess what I'm going to give the speech on? Guess. Come on. Comics is in it, yeah.
Cyclopian?
Yeah.
Okay, nobody's going to guess.
He said Cyclopian.
No. Well, inadvertently he will be. But I'm going to give a speech on why our children in school should read comic books. I'm working on my thesis statement now as we speak.
Oh,
that's what I'm giving my what?
I remember when colleges used to argue kids shouldn't read comics.
I'm arguing that kids should read comics. And Cyclopian is going to be my example. Yes.
Hey Timothy, you're telling me how back then people weren't eating meat raw. Look at every animal in nature. What other animal cooks their meat? You don't ever see sick animals in nature, unless they have an injury. That's it. I don't understand what you're trying to say.
Well, I do know that you're probably always experiencing people like who have always eaten cooked meat. Like I've never had a family member who liked it too rare. So when you say raw meat, it will instinctively draw some people to get like, wait a minute, buddy. Even though I'm open-minded to it, I don't know if I could ever sit down with like I don't know if I could sit down with a cow and cut it open and like just start chomping off its leg, or you know what I mean? Like, because the natural process in my mind, because of how I've been raised, is okay. You cut it out, you go take it to the pan, you cook it up, you wait.
Oh no, the best way to do it is to kill the cow, start in the stomach, so you can eat the meat with the blood, because the blood pools up in the stomach.
That's kind of what I'm seeing. So again, I'm Googling just to get information so I can actually have a conversation with you. But apparently, if you're going to eat raw meat, that it's best to eat it when it's very fresh. That you don't want it to sit around, because then that's when the bad stuff can happen, according to what I'm reading. I don't know how well that is.
You can
but
eat spoiled meat. Spoiled meat's so good for you.
I don't think I could do that. I'm sorry. I couldn't. No disrespect, but I know I couldn't do that. I'm like, oh.
You won't get sick from spoiled meat. There's people who eat spoiled chicken that's been spoiled for 2 years.
Well, let me say in defense of what he's saying, and I'm not saying I don't know anything about the topic that you're directly touching, but Slim Jim's a processed crap meat, and that thing stays on the shelf for 4 or 5 years. And I know it's got chemicals and Tabasco sauce.
No, that stuff will get you sick. That stuff will get you sick if it's over the date. That stuff will get you sick. It's toxic.
But I mean, that stuff will sit there for a long time before it goes, you know?
So I think that
it's all that GMO, vaccines,
exactly
antibiotics, hormones added, not eating their natural diet.
Yeah. What I'm looking at is like different things on different articles and different support of what he's saying. It's like why you should eat raw meat. So I put a link up there, and for some people that, and I'm sure you must see that in your life. I mean, if you go up and you tell total strangers, so I just eat raw meat, give me a raw steak and I'm all good. Do people come up to you and do they argue with you? Do they make you or try to change your mind or anything like that? Because it's very unusual in the world.
It's actually kind of interesting because I come from Idaho. Now I'm living here in Florida. Up in Idaho, not a single person agreed with me. When I moved down here, man, I actually offered tons to people and they're eating it. So people down here are much more for it. Idaho, no, not a single person.
Yeah, I was gonna say Idaho seems to be a bit of a reach for that, but Florida, you have a lot of
a lot of people willing.
Really,
Florida, I'll just say. I lived 18 years in the Orlando.
I'm looking it up now, Terry.
And the smallest place I lived was Wildwood. The biggest place was Orlando. So I don't know where you are, but Florida rocks, in my opinion. I came back to Massachusetts because of my.
I like the state.
Yeah,
I like the state. Cool. The only thing I don't like about the state is it's hard to find dairies and butcheries. It's the state with the least amount of cows in the whole of U.S.
See, I wouldn't have known that.
No.
Yeah.
So Terry has recommended a book for you, Diana. Let me go back.
I know. I'm actually looking at it right now. It's very cool looking, actually. I don't want to I want to skip ad. I looked it up. He shared that. And so I'm kind of looking, but I don't know what happened to it. All right, let me go here. Food Wars. Go to website. Ooh. Wait, it brought me to an RPG game. Oh my God.
What?
Sorry. It's making me skip the ad because I'm on a free website. Oh my God, it's got 255 chapters. Oh yeah, that's a long one.
Not really. manga.
Is it? Yeah, they do have. Well, what's happening is that I just typed in Wars and it gave me their website, but it has this weird ad. Skip ad. And when I skip ad, it brings me to some weird stuff. So I don't know what that's all about. But I will look it up, Terry. I will find an actual website that I could read the that's the state where I'm in. Okay. So at any rate, it is 10:27. I do have to work in the how did you do that, husband?
Well, that's what I do. I find stuff. So that's the cover for Food War manga.
Okay. All right.
It's on Amazon.
That looks cool.
Yeah, that does look cool. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, we'll order you a copy and we'll see what you think. And
especially with my thing for eating dinner on our shows, it would kind of goes well with what I do, huh?
Yeah, well, you're a female imitation of George in that respect, and don't ask who George is.
Who's George?
Oh, God.
George of the jungle, strong as he can be. Watch out for that tree.
I can't even. You guys are crazy. So listen. Well, that's good. Well, I need to go to bed, so that means I need to say good night because I have to get up bright and early in the morning and be ready for a bunch of kids. But it's been very amazing talking to all of you and to our new friend with a knife and the raw meat guy. That's awesome.
Appreciated talking to you.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm glad you stopped in. Check out Hero Shack, Great Cyclopian. It's a good read.
Well, we stream Monday and Wednesday nights. Monday we're more God-oriented. Wednesday we're more comic-oriented. The book, anybody watching, including you, my friend, the book is in the description if you're interested in backing it. But if you're going to back it, well, you should have backed tonight because we had the free wheel going. But we'll probably do it next Wednesday. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
But we're going to be working on our next release and be promoting the book. Next interview is what, honey? Friday
night at 6 p.m. Yes.
We'll confirm the time and post it on Facebook and Twitter for you guys. But yeah, I'm done. How about you guys?
We all set, guys? All right, you guys. God bless y'all.
30.
Take care. Bye.
Hey, wait. Rick, you're tomorrow at 7:30, right?
7 o'clock over on Odyssey, coloring up my drawing from last night.
You'll post on Twitter a link?
Yeah.
All right, because that's what I'm looking for, brother.
Exactly.
All right, we're dropping out, dropping fast.